Hi there, and welcome to my next video on my YouTube channel, Unapologetic with Lorelei. It's considerably colder than the last few days, and there's an icy wind breezing here over the heathland. So pardon me for my for my head here and what I'm wearing over it, but it's too cold for my head not to. And I don't think it's too much for taking care of yourself, like dressing yourself against the cold. And well, I'm gonna have to be creative over the winter because I would love the winter and I love to keep on talking and walking, but I will have to, get the right clothes for it. But you can't do too much, and that's exactly also the topic for me for today. Um, how can you do too much sometimes? Too much and without you realizing what it's costing you, because it can cost you so much more than you might realize. And that's what I wanted to talk with you about today. Maybe you are also a busy bee and doing a lot of things and overdoing it and over functioning it. And well, maybe it's time we realize how much it actually is costing you, and how much smoother and nicer it can be for you if you turn it around. But first also is you have to find out for yourself, how come you became a person who is overdoing so much and is doing too much? Because sometimes there's a vast reason for it. And I found out there's two kinds of busyness, two different kind of busyness, and overdoing it, and taking too much on board. There's two different reasons why you're doing it and two different consequences to go with that. So I'll be flipping the screen and I'll be showing you around here how nice but cold the heathland is here at the moment. And I will talk more with you about it, and maybe we can get a little bit less exhausted toward the end of the year, and enjoy the winter time. So I'll be flipping the screen and I'll be talking with you on the other side. Right, I did that. Flip the screen, and now I can also show you a little bit of the sunset that's happening right now. It's really nice to see. It's not too many colors, but maybe they will come. But as I said, I want to talk with you about what I believe there are two kinds of doing too much kind of things. And I believe most women don't even realize the difference until they're already so exhausted. And the first kind of doing too much way is pretty subtle actually. It's the one that you slip into when you want to be liked, or when you desire your deeper connection. The kind of deeper connection and hope that if you give more and if you do more and if you show up more, someone will finally meet you where you are. And it comes from a sense of longing and belonging, and from hope, from wanting closeness and softness and reciprocity. Oh my, I'm stumbling over these words. So how do you call it? I'm sorry, English is not my mother tongue. I hope you understand, and I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. But yeah, I believe most of the time this kind of over functioning, it doesn't bring you closer to people. It creates more of a one-way street, and you're the only one who's driving it, really. And you give effort, and but you don't receive it back, and that's frustrating. I don't always have to be 50-50 and identical and exactly the same. You have to receive what you're giving. I'm not talking about that, but you have to receive some form of energy back from the other person you're giving energy to. And you extend your emotional labor, but the connection doesn't deepen, and that's hurtful. Well, that's what I believe anyhow. And as I always say, this is what my channel is about. It's about my experiences, my insights, things gathered along the way. I'm 63 years of age, and I think I have something to say, and I want to share it with you. And if you want to listen, that's just fine. And if you want to walk with me on these walks, so yeah, I believe that, you know when you do this kind of heavy lifting, and putting all this effort into a relationship, then you're carrying a relationship, and they nine times out of ten they just simply let you do, because it's for them, it's quite comfortable, isn't it? And but slowly you start just disappearing yourself. You yourself are fading, because the other person's energy takes over, and they just soaking it all up, and you fade. And that's not healthy for you, far from it. And believe me, I've been there, and I've done my pleasing bit and all the rest of it. And it's not healthy, and it takes a long trip to come back from sometimes. And I would like to warn you for that, or maybe talk to you in a way that you might see, yeah, that's true. I'm in this kind of situation right now, and I need to stop it or get out of it. But people respond to you in a way not because they want to hurt you. I don't believe so. Well, I hope not. But because you kept placing yourself below them and placing them on a pedestal, and that's many people don't even like it, and they will tell you not to do it, tell you to stop it. And some people, they would just like the comfortness of you doing that. And that's the one kind of over functioning, I believe, is the kind of born for longing and from desire, and you wanted to love the and to be mutual when it isn't. But you just wish it so hard. And then I believe also there is this second kind of the second kind of over functioning that comes from trauma or from crisis or from instabilities that you've been happening all in your life. And this is not about wanting to be liked like the other one, but I believe this is more about survival. And I've personally done this as well, but in a different scenario than, of course, the other liking. I think many women of us, many women, we tend to do this. I believe, and then, well, I have known a lot of women, including myself, and after my divorce, I've been overdoing it and over exhausting myself, also for myself and my children, to build up something new. But it all comes from a crisis in this state, because I did not have a smooth divorce, actually, if you can talk about that. So yeah, this kind of overfunctioning you do when everything around you is falling apart, and someone needs to stay steady, and that's you are the one, you're the mother or the father. That's also possible, of course. But especially when you have children, and especially if you grew up in chaos yourself, and especially if life asks you to be the one who gets everything back on track, that's also something. People say, oh, she will handle it and she will deal with it. But it's pretty tricky, because that kind of overextending yourself is going to be engraved in your nervous system. It becomes almost your instinct. And yeah, you step into it and you fix it and you stabilize and you hold the emotional temperature of everybody in the room, and over everybody who walks with you. And well, there you have it. You're going to be very exhausted, let me tell you. And it's not because you want to, but because somewhere in your history of not doing was not an option. So you have to keep you just learned to keep on going. And this kind of overfunctioning. It does often save the day, and it does protect your children, and it keeps moving during some impossible chapters in your life. But it comes with a cost, and it really disconnects you from yourself. And that's pretty hurtful. And when you find that out, it's pretty hurtful, and you have to find a way back to you again. And yeah, because you become so used to managing everything that you forget what it feels like, to be held or to rest or to simply exist without scamming the horizon, so to speak. I don't know if you enjoy my nature, but this kind of horizon is beautiful. Well, I know now for the next time I'm going here, I have to wear some gloves, because my fingers are really freezing here, frozen fingers. But never mind. I just still enjoy the freshness of the sky and the air, rather. But yeah, the longer kind and the survival kind of overextending yourself, they both pull you away from yourself in different ways. And our addiction disconnects us, you're emotionally, and the other one disconnects you physically and mentally and spiritually, and at some point your body whispers the truth, actually, that you've been avoiding. You can't keep doing this. You just simply can't. And you're just overexhausting yourself and really, really hurting yourself to the damaging point of it, actually. And it's not because you're failing, but because you're simply human. And because I believe, you deserve safety, and you deserve softness. You deserve softness in your life as well, and you deserve a life where doing too much is no longer the price you have to pay for connection or for evidence of your strength. And then there comes a point, I believe it's a quiet moment of tender and honesty where self-preservation becomes self-love. And I believe when you start placing yourself back into the equation, then where you soften your grip on over responsibilities and stop giving so much that you disappear. You don't heal over functioning by becoming harder. You heal by becoming kinder to yourself. You meet your own needs first, and then you let people meet you halfway. And then I believe you stop performing strength and start choosing your presence. And in that shift, you really have a good chance of returning back to yourself. And then I believe you can be very proud of yourself. I've been through these phases, both of them in both different scenarios in my life. And I can tell you, it's as peaceful as this view is now. This is how peaceful your life can become. So I hope you're going to take care of yourself. Take very, very good care of yourself and your loved ones. And I do hope to see you in my next video. I will be posting daily. And if you like, you can subscribe to my channel. You can also give a thumbs up. And if you're not into any of that, just enjoy my video and hopefully my words. And hopefully it can inspire you or motivate you somewhere along the line that you will take more care of yourself, even though what you're doing already now. So I hope to see you in my next video, and I'm going to leave you here. Bye.